Welcome, episode 12 of the Big Cats 30th anniversary podcast I've titled this The Family.
Oh, shock.
And why wouldn't I call it The Family? Because I've got my family here, I feel like, anyway. G, Susie and Robsy, how are you going?
Good.
I've got all soft and mushy there.
Is that opposed to how we usually are?
Well, no, that's just very floppy.
So we prefer to be soft and mushy and not floppy? All right, okay, I'm glad
Usually
we've
it
got that.
takes me at least 15 minutes for people to cry. So this is a good start. We can only go up from here.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited to
dear.
have you all in the studio.
I feel
I feel like this is going to be an hour of laughter.
it's just going to be giggles, I think.
Sorry.
This is the family, and what I love, there's a couple of things here, but what I love about the women's program at Springy is we are a big family, and it's this big family of all these different personalities and different people, and some have played for a long time, some have played in parts, some are newer to the club. Georgia.
That's me. Oh, Georgia.
Trouble.
Thank you, Simone.
But at the end of the day, it's a family, and everyone's sort of part of this and connected, I guess.
Yeah.
No matter how long you've been involved or have sort of been, I want to say removed, but you're not, because Sue, you're still
No, we still come.
down there all the time, and Robsy,
Rob
you're
comes,
still
Sue, yeah.
I'm around.
always posting and commenting and supporting from afar, and
It's the only reason I was allowed to come to Springvale, if I brought my cheer squad with me.
we'll come back to that. That's going to be a discussion.
Jumping
But that's in all honesty, that's why we were drawn to Springvale.
Don't
Robin and I were.
Stop.
Don't
Don't
stop,
stop.
or don't
Stop.
stop.
Now,
Where is your grammar?
stop immediately.
Okay, thank you. So that was stop, comma. Okay, guys.
Clarifying,
Just
I
saying.
run an educational institute,
And you're sitting with 3 teachers. Gosh.
and I pride myself on my grammar.
That's a cute one.
Look, you might say this is cute, but before we get into the sort of, I've got an agenda, because if you've watched any of the podcasts, Chevy likes me having an agenda. She's very structured, very organised. But this photo I had to pull out because Springy won. Woohoo!
I
Sorry,
remember
G.
that day.
I remember that day.
And we all remember that day because thankfully your coach pulled you and you were the best hitter on their team.
Stupid
And we
move.
won. But that's beside the point, because after the game we were already mates.
Yeah.
And we already had a great relationship, even though you were playing at our arch enemy's club. And we sort of said, gee, let's get a photo. And you were a bit down, I think, because you had been pulled and you weren't on the field, and then we did win the game. But you came over and had a beer,
Yeah.
maybe a soft drink.
No, it was a beer. I was 18.
It was a beer. And Chevy, I think it was Chevy who said, you said, oh, I don't know if I should. And Chevy's like, get in the photo.
Yeah,
In
Chevy did.
typical
She pulled
Chevy
me.
fashion, and you did. And it's a great photo, and look how young all of us
Oh
look.
my gosh, right? Oh.
It's an awesome one. But I pulled that out of my archives because this is sort of the foundation of how you came to the club. And for people who don't know, and obviously Sue and Robsy know, but you were training at Springvale and sort of part of the family long before you played.
Yep. I think that season I started training with you guys.
Yeah.
I think it was that season. And then that kept going until I did my knee.
Yes.
So that was a couple
Injuries.
years later.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that as a bit of a starting point. And this is sort of the lineup we're going to run with. And we're going to... One thing I love about Robsy is that her nickname for the Big Cats has always been Springers.
Mm-hmm.
She always talks about her Springers family and talks about her love for Springers. And I just love it. It's not a word that a lot of people use, but it's your word.
It's mine.
And whenever I hear that word, I think of you.
Aww.
So I want to sort of start the chat off by talking about how all three of you ended up at the club, and you've sort of kind of started talking about it. We're going to talk about the drive, and if you've listened to the Gippsland girls, we sort of talked about something similar. Like there was, whether we're playing high level or playing in the threes, whatever reason you play, there's got to be a drive to keep going when you live miles away, let's be honest. But also because you love getting better, genuinely. And it wasn't just about, for you guys in particular, playing high level. It was you wanted to get the best out of yourselves. And that was such a big part of what you guys did. We're going to talk about the mates and the friendships that we've all seen grow over time and that are still there. The kids, because all three of you have played a significant role with a lot of the kids at the club and still do. And then some of the premierships, got some photo memories from back in the day. And then our quiz. We've got a quiz at the end. But I do want to start off with...
Quiz. I'm worried.
Just talk me through, and G, maybe you start off because it was sort of your relationship with myself and a number of the other girls that led you to Springy to start with. So talk to us about how you first arrived, and then I'll get Sue and Robsy to talk about there.
It started off at a tournament that I played that Huffy coached. And it was a friendly tournament in New South Wales, and Huffy coached it, and I was actually really scared of you guys, like absolutely petrified. I got some really great words of encouragement about being friends with you guys. So growing up, I was always very scared of you. Like I remember one time we were playing winter, you were pitching for Berwick, and I would have been about 16, and you hit me in the knee. And anyone who knows me, I have really shoddy knees. And I got told, through no shadow of a doubt, that you were too good, and that was deliberate. So that was kind of the stuff that I was getting fed.
I was probably hungover if it was winter, just to be honest.
Oh, 100%. And it was also a raining, drizzling day, and knowing you now know that you would never do that. Like, that's not something you guys would do. But, yeah, it started off with me talking to Huffy and going, she's not scary. What is this? And getting really confused by that. And she's like, why don't you just come to a training session? So I started coming to training sessions and talking to you, and I was like, oh, wow, this is not the kind of vibe I was expecting at all. And so then when I was 18 in that photo, started training with you guys, still playing for Doncaster, and I left Doncaster that season, and I went to you, I was like, I don't know what to do, and you're like, don't come here yet. And I remember it, you're like, don't come here yet, it's not your time yet. There'll be a time, it's not yet. And then Bronny was like, we both left, and she's like, I'm starting Essendon. And so Bron and I went and helped out starting Essendon's women's program.
And Bron had played juniors at Essendon.
Bron had played juniors.
Yeah.
So we played there for a bit. And then again, when I feel like a real club hopper at the moment, but when I then left Essendon, I then went to Newport with Bron again. And when I had Bondi Boy, the travel to Newport was 2.5 hours to and from, and I just couldn't commit to that with a newborn. So I came back to you, and that was after a couple injuries and things, and I wasn't looking to play Div 1 again. I was just looking to have some fun with my mates. And that's why I was like, Simone, I'm ready. And you're like, yeah, you are. You're ready now. So what was that,
I
2
said,
seasons?
talk to Dean, then you're ready.
Yeah, I said, get the letter of intent, and then you're ready. And talk to Dean, and I did, and Dean's like, now we get it. Like, it's all good. So there's no animosity there, and like, I still love playing.
He was really good about it.
He was so good about it. He's like, we would love to have you, but 2 hours is a lot when you have a newborn.
Yeah.
So then I spoke to you, and you're like, yeah, it's time. And you're like, you're going to have to work if you want it. And I'm like, I just want to have fun again. Like, I'm not loving this game right now. I just want to have fun again. And so, ended up Springvale, and it feels like I've been there for 1,000 years, even though it's only my second season. I've just finished my second season there. So
yeah, it does. And we'll come. I'll quiz you more about it. But Sue and Robsy, do you want to talk about sort of when you arrived and what it was like? And
well, we used to play at Doncaster, and the reason we played at Doncaster is because G played there, and I rocked up at one training session, and they said we need fill-ins for the threes on Saturday. Have you ever played? We went, I said, I've played softball a bit, but never played baseball. And they said, can you fill in? And I said, yeah. Do you need anyone else? And they said, yeah. So I got Robin to help, and we never
stopped.
No, we just kept going, and we really had fun. But we loved playing springers. We used to shit stir people on Ione. It was a lovely time. But our premise is positives. We're positive.
yeah.
And if someone in the opposition hits a great hit and I've been playing first base, I'd say, great hit, well done. If we get him out, that's even better. But hey,
Yeah.
why do I not want to say,
Yeah.
yeah? And so G decided she'd go to Essendon, and we went.
No, Doncaster weren't putting a threes.
Doncaster weren't, and we'd had a really good relationship with the Springers threes. I had muffin break at the time, and I used to bring muffins in and leave muffins on the bench for
I
the
remember.
Springers,
Yeah.
and we used to just have a lovely time. And we thought, oh well, we'll just go and play the Springers, and that's where we ended up.
Plus,
and
I'd paid for Berwick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
coached Berwick before.
Yeah, that's right.
G
I came and
coached.
played
Yeah.
when you were
Yeah.
coaching Berwick.
Yeah, she coached us at Berwick. For
I think it
one-
was after
one whole
that game.
season.
You're like,
Yeah.
you've come to me and go.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great memory.
My favourite coincidence is that you both got number 8. But anyway,
Yeah, that was
See,
just
that was-
weird. That was
that was-
serendipity.
It was,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Because it came from second-hand uniform, my 8.
So did mine.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
And we both ended up with 8.
Weird but true.
Weird but true.
We're family.
oh look, Mama.
Oh, that's just sad.
Talk
in so
to
many
me,
levels.
Robsy. I mean, I know you probably Susie roped you into baseball to start with.
Oh,
But do
yeah.
you remember when you first showed up at the club? And I mean, you'd played against Springers and you knew all the girls and you had a great time. But sort of, what was it like coming into a new environment with
I
different
think
people?
for me it was pretty stressful to start with because socially that's not my strong point.
Yep.
But I did know people. I had G and I had Sue and I knew you
Yeah.
from Berwick.
Yeah.
So for me, knowing you and knowing the type of vibe that you had, I was quite happy to come over. I didn't want to stop playing because I just started.
Yeah.
And as Sue said, we are softballers, never played baseball before joining Doncaster, did a whole lot of things wrong.
Did a whole lot of things right too.
Did some things right, but did a whole lot of things wrong because we didn't understand. I didn't understand.
But we were willing to listen and
We
learn.
listened, yeah,
and
for
that's what we
sure.
liked about
Springers was
Springvale,
good.
because it didn't matter if we were old chicks coming in just playing our first season.
No,
It didn't
it was
matter.
good.
If you were ones, I mean, people like you and
Shaker.
Shay and Chevy, they would still try to help us to get us better.
And who was the guy that tried to teach us to bunt? I was terrible.
I was actually a good bunter. I just didn't have. I'm a slug to run, but I'm a good bunter.
Yeah, I'm definitely your daughter, aren't I? Jeez.
Such a slug. I'm a cute slug. Make
You make all the boy slugs go wah.
Oh God.
Sorry, it's a Princess Diaries joke.
Oh yeah.
Look it up.
I'm
It's
sure
about mooses.
I'm sure people watching will understand, Sue.
Put your antler away.
Moose.
You're but a cute moose.
Hello. It's really lovely to hear hear about you coming into the environment, and you know, the overarching theme from all the discussions I've had with everyone's just that it is an environment where you can be yourself, and it's an environment where people are going to help you get the best out of yourself, no matter who you are, how old you are, how long you've been playing, or what your aspirations are, and that's something I love, and that.
It's an environment of acceptance.
It is.
It is, and I loved when you guys came. I was like, oh, they're great people. They're really nice. But little did I know that, and I'll come back to this in a bit more depth, but little did I know how hard you were going to work, I think. And I got to coach you, so
We were happy about that too.
I felt very lucky about that. And the drive, so we can get into the drive, and I've written the drive because, and I first want to say, when I was going through these photos, playing just made you so happy.
Absolutely.
You love coming to baseball,
Absolutely, yes.
and I love going to baseball. But your face when you played, and particularly when you, because you had your doubts in yourself and your ability.
Absolutely, yeah, I did.
But when you made an out, Robsy, like the delight and joy on your face used to just make the hours of time for me
Yeah.
just so worthwhile. And I just, when I was looking at these photos, it brought back these great memories of
Yeah.
Robsy playing ball and just,
Oh, no, it
just
was good
having the
fun.
time of your life.
Yeah, it was good fun.
But you drove miles. I mean,
Yeah.
like you were driving over an hour to
But
get to training.
But we with our kids, we'd driven our kids
Everywhere.
around everywhere. I mean, we had basketball. We were taking kids to rep basketball, and we were going from Eltham to Frankston on a Friday night for
Yeah.
games. I mean, the driving was never a thing for us ever.
And we valued that as family time because Sue and I travelled together.
Yeah, cool.
So
Yeah,
for us, it was a great way
Catch
to catch up.
Yeah.
Because we didn't teach at the same place at that stage.
And swear at other drivers like I was on the way here. It was great.
Yeah. And we valued the Saturday time too because
Yeah.
we spent it with our Springers family, but we also spent it together.
Together. Yeah,
Which
I
we
think
didn't
that's
get
really
that
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, that's
it was
great.
fun.
I say the joy on Robsy's face, but there was a joy on your face, and you
gotta.
were quite the competitor.
Oh, yeah. I
But
want to win.
gee, did you love to play? And you both had a thirst for learning, and I think that's the drive for me. What I loved about you guys is that you turned up to love the game and to have fun, but you actually did you wanted to be the best that you could be. And that
us, yeah.
set a great example. And I'm going to show some photos and talk a bit about the juniors you played with, and you played with some of our best
Yeah.
and
Well, we
most
still ask-
talented kids.
We ask G questions when we don't understand why something happened. We'll say to G, why did that happen? Why didn't this happen? And we'll make her explain it because her baseball strategic brain is quite phenomenal. You wouldn't know looking at that, but underneath it's actually got brains.
I remember
Very far under, Sue. Very far under.
I remember many times like going to play nationals, and Mum would be there. It was one of my first nationals or second nationals. Mum actually brought a pen and paper and watched some of the best women's first basemen and go, why did they do that? Like, I so remember a conversation we had in the car. She was talking about Katie Gaynor, and she's like, why did she do this and this? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't
so
play
cool.
first base.
Yeah.
Funnily enough now. I'm like, I don't know. I've never played first base before in my life. Like, I don't know what's going on. And Mum actually got a pen and paper and wrote this all down. So a woman who started, mid-50s to play baseball.
Yes,
early
it was.
50s. Early 50s?
It was
Yeah.
early for you because it was
Early,
mid for me.
yeah.
Oh, well, it's definitely
is
early.
actually and learning a brand new position, because I don't think you played first in softball.
No, I used
No.
to play catcher.
Yeah, learning a new position, actually going out of her way and going, I know I'm going to go watch some of the best baseballers the best baseballers in the country. To have the forethought to go, I'm going to bring a pen and paper and write down everything I see.
That's pretty
was
cool,
pretty
Sue. I didn't know
amazing.
that story, and I love hearing stuff like that. And I want to track back to what you said, because I want to come and I want to have fun and I want to enjoy baseball again, and I think that is genuinely what you were doing. But also there's always been a thirst for you to get the best out of yourself, and I feel like you're on a bit of a journey to... I don't think you've reached your peak yet either, personally.
I don't know.
And I have coached you and watched you play for a long time. But talk to me about what it was like coming into an environment with so many really good... Not saying you haven't been around that at Doncaster and Essendon and Newport, but coming into a program where there's so many quality players, but who all work very hard. Did that inspire you? Like, what
It was
was it
really
like?
intimidating. So first up, it was so intimidating. But that's only when I decided to really start working. Like, I remember my first pre-season. I was just there because I wanted to see the people. I didn't really care about the work. I just wanted to be around the people because I didn't love baseball. And I knew that I needed it, because if I didn't have it, I was very lost. So I didn't care. I just went, like, I played footy and was being ridiculous in the indoor sessions, being me. And then you said, like, pre-season that season, I really didn't take it too seriously. I was just mucking around, and then you're like, gee, you're in the ones. And I was like, don't be silly. No, mate, you're in the ones. And then that moment, I was like, well, I'm going to have to do something different. And I remember having so many conversations with Princess, Hannah Jackson, and going, I feel so inadequate. Like, I'm around all these people who have had multiple Australian appearances, multiple Victorian appearances, and it's just me. Like, I've done nothing. Like, I haven't even made a starting lineup for the Vic side. Like, I'm nothing. And she goes, don't be stupid. You don't have to be anything more than you are. Like, you just have to be the consistent player you are, because we all do the work.
There's no I in team.
No.
It's such
And-
an interesting discussion, G, because I sat here with Sloan and Shanners a couple of weeks ago, and both of them were talking in a similar way to you. Like, how do I fit in here when I'm not, I'm never going to be as good as all these players? But I think in a very similar way, like, you're such a valuable player in the ones, and you're such a valuable teammate, and everyone contributes I mean, I'm never going to hit like Shay, and no one is probably, but you know, there's
She's a
things
freak.
that there's
She's a freak.
There's
She's
things that you
phenomenal.
bring, and there's things that Shanners brings, and Sloan, and everyone, that makes the team work, and that makes people like Shay and Bron and those girls better. So,
My favourite thing
You
is
know-
just to annoy Shay at second base.
oh, we all love that.
I just love it. I just start singing to her, and she's like, "Can you shut up?" I'm like, "No."
It's interesting though hearing you, because I feel like there is, you know, you come into that environment, and somehow being in that environment helps you realise I can do this, and I've got the right people around me.
Yeah, so
And-
yeah, my first season, I played really well. Like, I think I had probably my best season ever, my first season. Last season's a different story. But my first season, yeah, definitely, I was like, I'm actually hitting pretty, like, consistently, and I
Yeah.
let, like, one ball pass the whole season. And I was like, crap, maybe I do actually belong with these guys. Maybe I belong and I fit with these guys. So that was a really cool realisation to have at the end of that season. And then I was just I didn't change much, because I just loved doing what I was doing with you guys. And
I think
Yeah.
last season though, you were just saying you didn't enjoy what you did last season, or you didn't feel like you played as well last season. But last season should have shown you that the other 8 people on the field brought the team's strength. So it's not, baseball's not about one person. It's about a team.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
and that should have shown you that even if someone who's, you know, an Australian baseballer makes mistakes, but they've got a team behind them supporting them, and that's the real essence of what I think baseball is. It's team.
Very much what
it's
spring
not
ball is.
individual. And that's what spring is. And the women's program, I can't talk to the
particular.
men's program, but I can talk to the women's program. It does that particularly because they train together. The ones train with the threes, and they help them. And, you know, you'll be a threes first baseman doing first base drills, and you're taking balls from the ones, and they're flying. I mean, Kelly Manzi picking up a ball and throwing it at me, and I'm sitting
my
there
God.
shitting myself thinking I'm going to die.
That scares me.
Oh, but
I
it's really great to know, hey, I can take that
Yeah.
throw. I can field that throw.
Yeah.
It hurts when I gets hit by it.
I remember one of the first times I just got moved to first base, and we were at training together, and Mum was telling me what to do. Like, she was like, do this, do this. She's like, just so you know, Kelly's going to absolutely smash out. Like, it's going to come hard. And the next one, you might have to meet it. Like, it was really interesting to have a ones player directly followed by a threes player, then by a
Yep.
twos player.
Yeah.
And I think it made us better players, because
It's actually
we
good
always
training, isn't it?
expected the
Yeah.
unexpected.
You never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, nah. I love that camaraderie that we have. I think being called the Lions is a very appropriate name, because A, I have a lot of pride in wearing that jersey, and B, we're a group animal.
Oh, that's very clever. Well
That
done.
is very
honey.
clever.
I'm impressed. You've been thinking about that all day.
I
haven't
haven't.
you?
I
Is that
just
in
saw
your phone notes? Or?
No, I just looked at the lions, and I was like, big cats, pack animals, you know, and then I'm like, oh wait,
Oh,
a group
gee.
of lions is called a pride.
I'm so proud.
I know.
Look at
Proud.
you.
That's amazing.
That's
We may
a
as well end the
pleasure.
podcast
Right
now.
here, I'm going,
I don't
hey,
think
bye,
it
guys.
gets any better than that, does it?
Mic drop. Oh, no, don't. They're good
Don't,
ones.
they're good ones.
No, they're expensive. I paid for these.
Oh,
Um,
ooh.
Not with my own money.
Oh,
With my budget.
that's okay then.
The mates, talking about camaraderie and, you know, all these great people. This is an early one, Robsy and Sue. So this is Deb's final
we know
season.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the shirts that
Yeah.
I happen to have left over in my shed
Mm.
that I spent all night writing on. You're welcome, Deb.
Yeah.
Had Big Cat's family on the front.
Yeah.
And we were celebrating one of our stalwarts who'd been around the program for years and years and years.
Mm.
She'd never played for Australia. She'd never played any of those things. But for the big cats, she's one of our
Beating
most
hearts.
favourite and famous names, Deb.
Yep.
And you guys played with her, but this is sort of the group of mates, and I kind of love this photo. It just shows you there's such different personalities and people.
Yep.
And a
Look at
number of
Maddie.
those players still playing and still around. Look how young Balin looks in the front there. Hi, Bay. Shout out to Bay. But that's just one of them.
Goodness.
But the mates and the friendships and there's heaps of them, and you might talk about some in particular, but these are some of the photos I found of you and one of your good mates while you were playing Fee.
Yeah.
Robsy, talk to me a little bit about the mates that you've made along the journey and that you still have now.
Well, Fee was early in the time, and I got to know her through G, actually.
Another baseball tournament.
Another
she coached.
baseball tournament. So I got to know her, and then, of course, I knew her through umpiring.
Yeah.
Because she used to umpire us.
Mm.
And then when we came to the Lions, it was a lot more frequent that we'd see Fee.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sue and I went away with Fee when she organised the Vipers
Masters.
Masters
right.
for the
Yes.
Masters tournament,
Yeah.
which was okay. We went to 2 tournaments, didn't we? We went to Geelong
Yeah.
and we went to the Gold Coast. Was fun.
Gold Coast was fun.
Fun. But I think it was a bit much for me in lots of ways, the tournament. I don't know. I think I had doubts about myself
Yeah.
and being able to fit on the field. I just didn't feel right. So I only did two Masters. But Sue and I had fun. Didn't matter
Yeah.
where we were. We were
But
going to have fun.
We made friends like Mandy,
Mandy.
you know.
Mandy.
Funny.
Yeah.
Hey!
She's a superstar.
And you guys were friends with her long before because
Oh,
you were
when-
leaving her the
From
muffins and
Doncaster, yeah.
Doncaster,
We
yeah.
used to talk all the time, talk smack all the time. I remember
Wait, you
playing.
talk smack?
Yeah, I remember playing against you in the threes
Oh,
at
yes,
Doncaster,
when you were coming
and
back.
you've smashed the freaking ball out. And I've looked and gone, "What the frack's she playing in the threes for?" So you've run up to first base, and I said to you, "Oh, that was a good hit." And you went, "Oh, yeah, thanks." And I went, "What the hell are you playing in the threes?"
I said, my knee's 70 years old, Sue, that's why.
And I went, "Oh, okay, well done, hun," and off you go. And you said to me after that game, you said, "I never liked playing Doncaster before." She said, "But I don't mind playing you guys."
I would have been very conflicting.
I said, "We're delightful. Of course you'd love playing us."
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Not now, looking back, but yeah, you know, great times with Mandy, and you talk smack when you're on the team with her.
Oh,
Yeah,
mate.
of course.
These guys talk smack to me from the fence. They're like, "Gee, watch the ball this time." I'm like, "Okay then. Gosh, you want to do better?"
Great,
No one will do anything to my baby, though.
great friendships, and
Princess.
I want to talk about Hannah.
Yes.
Princess.
She's our girl.
She's our girl.
part of our family.
And
She is part of your family, and in particular, such a great long-time friend and stable person in your life.
Who's stable?
Stable. Princess.
Helps.
Stable. No.
I said stable in your life, not in her own. Love you, Han.
We all love Han.
But I just thought this photo was great because you're in your happy place on
She's
the
looking at my
field, and
butt.
she's just making sure that you're doing everything right. But in all seriousness,
Oh, look.
Hannah's been a really big influence on you as a person, but also
100%.
in your baseball, and has always supported you. Obviously, on the right there is some good old Aussie Hearts happy snaps, and we've
Yep.
been lucky enough to do some travelling together for baseball, and
That was an
Jacko
awesome
was
trip.
part of that. But how important has that friendship been to you and is to you? And now that you're playing with her, what's that like?
It's not a friendship. It's not. She's my sister. Like, we met 2013, so that babyface photo.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a massive change in my life, like a massive change through baseball, but translated into all of my baseball career because Princess did her knee. She came to live with us. And then since then, she comes to every Christmas. She came to church with us a few times. And she's just been...
She survived.
I'm not sure
so
she
did I.
should be going to church.
Yeah, look.
That's okay.
Sometimes I'm scared I'm going to burn coming out of it, but she is honestly...
We wrap her up in foil. She's
Yeah, it's
fine. She makes it every time.
so far.
Oh gosh, I hope you cut these things up. No, I'm joking. But Princess, I'm a very big personality, which is completely shocking to a lot of people. But Princess is also quite a big personality, right? And I feel like at times a lot of people are kind of scared the way I'm going to react to things, so the way they tell me things is a little bit different. But Princess will go, "You're being a dick, cut it out." And then I'll be like, "I hate you right now." But it's very much, but you're right. And that's always done with love, though. Like, she's very firm, but it's always, "You're being a dick, cut it out," and then she'll come give me a hug. So it's really nice to have that person that I can come and talk to anything about. And when I am having those moments, like when I first moved to Springvale and I was like, I can't talk to anyone here. Like, they wouldn't get it. And they're like, she's like, "Don't be an idiot." They do. You don't need to be everything here. You just need to be you. And that was a really awesome thing. And she tells me that still. Like, most games, when I start freaking out, she knows.
Yeah.
Because it happens every game. Like, I'll just have a random panic attack in the middle of the game. She'll be like, "You're right. That's all it needs." And then we move on. And when she's not there, I know. And I do love playing with her. But I love, just having her everywhere. It's great.
I love that. It's not a friendship. It's a sisterhood. and the last season, so obviously your second season, your other great mate, Bronnie, ended up with the right colours on.
Yeah, finally.
What was that like, having her? So now you've got one of your mates behind you and one in front of you.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was a really different season for us because we've played a lot of club ball together. Doncaster, Essendon, Newport. Sorry, Bronnie, letting us all our secrets out.
I don't think it's a secret.
It's not a secret. we were actually counting the collected jerseys the other day. It was bad. But it was a really different season because we were both having so much fun. To the end of a couple of the clubs we were at, we were just, one of us wasn't happy, and that really shone through. But I play best when I'm being a bit of a doofus. Like, I play best when I'm able to kind of switch off between pitches and sing. And Bronnie and I at times last season would just look across the diamond and laugh. Like, no reason. There was nothing there. We'd just look and laugh. And just knowing that, not that, like, completely taking out the baseballer she is. Like, she's amazing. She's one of the best I've ever seen. Like, completely taking that out. To just have my best mate there with me, going through this an amazing time, experiencing all these things is just fantastic. Like, most of my really close friendships are through baseball, and to have two of my closest friends and sitting there really close to me the whole time is amazing, because on the bench we talk shit. In the field we talk shit, and then
on the sideline we talk shit.
It's just a lot of shit going on.
I felt like last season especially was just like, look at that face, like it was just a whole bunch of fun.
And you could see it on the faces, and lots of different mates and lots of different personalities, but you always just find a way to get along with everyone, and that's one of the things I love about you. And all three of you, but, and last year, obviously, we had an amazing import. Who you played very closely to, obviously, at first base.
The other day.
She's pitching. But I think it's important that you know what an important role you play as the bubbly person who chats with everybody and talks to everybody and helps everybody else feel safe and happy. You feel like people do that for you, but you do that for a lot of people. So I don't know if you know that.
Supports the pitch.
But that is very important, G, and you play that role, and you don't try and do it or know you do it, but you do it. And now you've got all these amazing mates and look at us, what a pretty bunch we are.
We're such a pretty bunch.
You're up the
crew.
There.
That's definitely a crew.
Definitely a crew.
Yes.
Yes. But an amazing group of women, and
it's an eclectic group.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Look, so
that's why it works.
Let's move on before you go too far.
No, it works.
No,
eclectic's a good word.
Okay. It just means a whole bunch of different people coming together. People you would never put in the same
I didn't
room.
know where you were going with that, Susie.
No. Nearly took the cans off.
That would be a bad thing.
Edit. I do want to talk a bit about the kids, because I mentioned how the sort of the role you
Oh my
played.
gosh, look at him.
Hanami.
This is one of my favourite seasons.
That was on the hill at Box Hill.
Yes.
Yep, Melbourne Baseball Club
Melbourne,
in
yes.
Box Hill.
It's the grand final.
It
We
was the
won
grand
it.
final. We won.
Yay.
And that is sort of you at the front, Susie, and three of the kids at
Yep.
the time. They are not kids anymore.
No,
Look how young they look. Look at Gabby.
What was it like for you guys playing with, like, I don't know if you've listened to the kids episode, but Gab talked about how much fun it was. Like, her first season of women's was playing with a bunch of women that were far older than she
Old
was
ducks.
14.
You insinuating something?
You're old.
Well, she sort of said, I don't know if you've watched it. She said, I came in and I was sort of like, this will be fun. And then I realised how important the team was to these women and to how important it was that we, I mean, it was fun, but we were still trying to win and we were competitive. And she said she didn't really realise the extent of that and then went, that's what we're all about here. That's what Springy does. And okay. And she also said that she's been around a while now, so I think this is her 10th season, Gab.
Wow.
But she's played a lot of finals, but she hasn't won a lot. And so she came in and won and was like, oh, wow. But you don't always win. But tell me what it was like playing with the kids.
I think it was a lot of fun.
It was,
playing with them, and I think
We
that
actually put them in their place a few times too.
we
Don't
did
doubt it.
Imagine that.
just nicely, not horribly, nicely.
No, there was a couple of times where I went, excuse me? Hello?
I could never
You've got to
imagine
understand,
that.
it's a game.
They,
If you make a mistake, it's a game. Come on.
and I guess from my point of view, we forgot that they were young. We forgot that
There
they
was-
were going
sometimes
through
we did.
puberty, and so they had all sorts of hormones flying around. Don't laugh.
What about our hormones? Or lack of. We're not
You're going through puberty.
We're at the other end of the scale.
It's the other end of the spectrum.
Holy, no wonder the team didn't explode.
I wonder how would the coach have gone, hey?
Oh,
We
God,
did-
it
we-
was tough.
Yeah. We just wanted them to understand that whether they did something well
didn't
or
matter.
not, it didn't matter. We still loved them.
And they would have said exactly that. I don't care how you play. I still love you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're trying your hardest
Yeah.
and you make a mistake, own it, move on.
Yeah.
But we're not
Don't
going to
worry
not
about
love
it.
you because of it. You know, and
It was interesting in the dugout. Lots of time that was very interesting.
yeah, a lot of them came in with a lot of expectation
Oh,
on
yeah.
them from other corners.
Yes.
And we dealt with that expectation with going, so you've made a mistake, get over it,
Doesn't matter.
we're going on now.
Yeah.
You know, we fluff up all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. Doesn't matter.
What, I didn't say
Oh,
the bad
you've
word. I
dropped the
said
F
fluff.
bomb and then you just said fluff. So.
Oh, well,
dropped it.
we'll put an explicit language warning on it. But so Susie,
sorry.
the first
Sorry.
no, it's
It wasn't
fine.
me.
Sorry,
It was you.
sorry.
The first photo was of the Premiership win, and then this one's when we didn't win.
Yeah.
In the
We're
game
still
at Altona.
smiling. Look at that.
And it's the same thing, and I think that game we actually got demolished. We lost by a lot.
think I
And out
remember
there
that.
smiling, poor Lil. It wasn't a best day for any of the girls that day.
No.
But we still had a ball, and I know you played an important role. That the kids still talk about it. But then we also had this kid,
Who's
And
27 foot tall now. He's
and I
huge.
know that you guys loved him too. Like, I just thought this kid is going to be he's already special, but he put his hand up and he wanted to come and help out with the threes, and he didn't want to help out. He said, I want to be the assistant coach, Wig. Can I be your assistant coach? And I want to help the girls. And talk to me about that relationship. Like, what was it like having this kid who was 12?
Yeah, it was tough, but that was a person who wanted to do a job. And so our job, in my opinion, I don't know whether Robin agrees with me or not, our job was to support him, help him and learn from him, because he'd played more baseball than we had.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
You know?
I agree totally with Sue there.
Yeah.
And he was very positive with us.
Yep.
Mm.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was always positive.
And didn't treat us like old girls.
No. How could you? We were. No. Anyway. But we'd
Quite
ask him
easily.
questions if we
Yeah.
didn't understand something. We didn't. There was no age barrier for us.
No.
We asked questions. He was our assistant coach. It wasn't about age.
Yeah.
It was about position.
Very cool.
Our position was player.
Yeah.
His position was assistant coach.
It's very cool. I had him in a couple of weeks ago, and the podcast hasn't been released yet. But I asked him some of the lessons he learnt from being the assistant coach when he was just a kid, and he said, that time at Springvale helped me learn that anyone can play and anyone wants to get better and can. And it doesn't matter if you're in the threes in the women's or you're whatever level you are. And I think for a kid, that's such a great lesson to learn. And what a great environment where you're supported to learn, but you're respected, you know, for who you are. I just thought that photo was brilliant.
You photobombing again.
Me, photobomb, never.
You still play a really important role with, and I'm loosely calling these the kids, and obviously Lil didn't play last season, but she played that first season that you came over, and she's still one of the younger players, or she was when she was playing. But what's that role been like for you? Because you used to be the kid, and you sort of came in and it was Wig, the older one, and these, you know, Shay and some of those girls. But now you're me, and you're the one who's people look up to you and want you to help guide them. Like, do you feel a sense of responsibility, or is that something you love?
I just think that I'm at the same mental acuity as them.
I want you to be serious for a second.
I do. I really do enjoy it. And like I went to Japan with Lily, and
That's
a
right.
few years beforehand,
Yeah.
actually, and I went with like Hanami and a few of the girls who I went to Japan, and I actually commented on last season for Lily, and I was like, mate, you're one of the people I was really kind of worried, and I've said this to her face, by the way, so you're one of the people I was kind of worried about because I saw that you had quite like a temper and you could do this and that. And then I said, but I was really quite surprised and pleasantly surprised the way that you could come out last year, and you were a lot more humble through that. And we had that conversation, and that was really cool. And sometimes she would just come to me and she'd be like, just be silly for a second. And I'd be like, why are you asking? Like, that's the kind of way I live in. So I like being able to be that more kind of more of approachable person that people just see me being insane. So it's okay to come and ask me some questions, and I'll give the best I can, but I'll still be insane. So I enjoy being that role model, and at times being able to actually speak to people in a different way because of teaching and things. Like, you are able to frame things in a little bit of a different way, and not even just the kids, but anyone who comes in. Like pre-season on Friday, just helping out anyone who is in my partner or in my group or doing whatever I want, whatever I can.
That.
And
Yeah.
I just love helping out and being that person that people do feel like, because at times Simone Wern and Shay Lillywhite and Bronwyn Jell, they can be really intimidating names.
Whatever.
Names.
Probably the Shay one, but not me.
But yeah.
Here's some
we've
more
worn
of
her down.
Sawatani. Here's some more of the kids. And I just thought this photo was cute. And I think Lil BT loves a selfie. So and I think she's got the longest arms. So
I do.
always
I think it
ask
sets
her
the best.
I always ask her to do it. The flags, and it's not always, we've talked a lot about it not always being about winning, and it's a game, and that's great. But you did get to win,
Yeah, we did.
and it was great fun.
Yeah,
It was.
and I played really, really well that day.
You did, and that in fact the team played really
it was
well.
a team game.
It was.
Really was.
Everyone contributed.
We played really, really well that
And it was hot.
day. It was hot
It was, yeah.
and it was humid and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that I love about this game, and you're probably going to hate this comment, so you can edit it out later. You got really cranky with me once. There's more than one occasion, I know.
Once.
But once, because I don't believe in the MVP. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that there's a most valuable player at all.
All right.
And in
Right.
our threes, people got MVP'd or Lionel'd or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I do remember.
I
yeah.
remember you getting really cranky with me one day because I said I didn't believe in it. And this day, you had Lionel in your hand and you threw it at me and you said, I know you don't believe in it, but you've got it today. And I went, well, thank you, bitch, when?
I don't actually
Take
remember
it.
that, but it sounds so like what I would do. So I do not dispute it.
Yep. And I just
No,
thought,
I remember it.
yep. And I
And you
I
took
think
it.
I took it, and I said to you, took the team to win.
So you still didn't really accept it.
No, she
No.
didn't. She
I
will
don't
never.
believe in it at all. It takes a
never
team
has.
to win, and I never will believe in it.
No.
It does take a team to win.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
All the time.
we have. I want to say, gee, that it takes a team to win unless you've got sour gummy, and then she just does it all.
And then she just, yeah.
But this is sorry, no photos of Robsy with her medal,
No,
with
it's
her
all right.
medal, but there's one of Sue. But
I'll
that was
show
a
you one of
great
mine.
day at Melbourne,
Yeah,
That
it was
was
a
great.
great
and
day.
that's us on the mound after. And I was so happy that little Riser got to.
How good is how
Get
how
up there
proud
and-
is he? Look at him.
I know, and he's got the flag, and just loving life.
He was the assistant coach.
And we had such a fun
Mhm.
little team.
was
And
good.
then this is the team also that we had a ball with the year after, and we didn't quite win. And this is, I talked to Balin about this. This was her first season that she came in.
Yep.
And in the end, obviously, her and Emily and Lily.
Yeah.
And we all knew at the time they weren't going to be.
They were only going to be with
in
us
that-
for one season.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
we all knew that.
We knew that.
We all knew that, and we enjoyed the fact that they were there. I think for that
we
season.
we were there to give them the confidence to go to the next
They
level.
can
Yep.
do it. Yeah.
Yep, that's so true.
That was our job.
It was that was another great season. But Georgia
Oh, gosh.
Oh my God, no!
Look at that kid.
Georgia.
Oh, my gosh.
He's a bit young there.
Yeah.
came in, and obviously, I don't want to use the word luck because I'm not sure luck is the right word, but came in, and that was obviously the first. I just love this photo because it tells so many stories. First of all, G had cracked it,
Not me.
not you.
The other G.
Little miniature G, and refused to be in the photo. So Sloane's annoyed. You can see Sloane's face. And G's over there going, I'm not coming in this photo. And apparently G's still upset that she wasn't in the photo.
Oh no.
But Bond's obviously being little Bond, and he's like, I'm not sitting still for 5 seconds, Mum. And you're like, can you just be in the photo?
Yep.
Charlotte and Reese are just like,
At the front.
At the
yeah.
front.
And Arthur.
eh. And Arthur's just like in awe of Shay because he loves baseball.
Yep.
But so much fun, and then just BT in a typical BT pose and
Yep.
love and life. But I just love that photo. And
But that's synonymous with the club.
Yeah.
It's a family club. So that
It
that
just
It is.
epitomises what it is.
yeah, it does.
it is. Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is the more recent flag, and I'm probably a bit like you. So last season the season before I'd pitched all season through the grand final, was pretty dominant. This year we had a pitcher. I was kind of injured, hadn't trained a lot. I didn't play all that well. I still was playing. I played third. I didn't have a great season. And then, we won. So it was a bit of a different feeling, but I just loved being part of the team, even though I personally didn't feel like I contributed anywhere near as much as I could have. But there was something special about last season.
Something very special. Someone very special, I think.
But your contribution isn't just in the season.
Or
It's
on
in
the
the
field.
knowledge you've imparted to those people in the way that they've come up through the ranks. So in saying that personally you didn't do well that season, your knowledge and what you taught instilled in those people won a grand
This is why
final.
I love you, Sue.
And not to mention
You've
the
got to look at
support that
glass.
you would have
Yeah.
for everyone.
It's you see, I get really angry. I get cranky with people like you and G when you say I didn't play well.
Oh, you're in trouble
It's
now.
not all about 70%. It's about what you can do on the field, but it's off the field and what you bring to the team and the support you give the team and the base, the strong foundation, the base you make. You make a strong foundation. The team can win without you being stunning. It's not about being stunning. It's about being team. It's about being
Lucky, because I
coherent.
don't think we're stunning.
No.
You
Definitely
both
not.
are
But
stunning in your own ways.
You are the heart of Springvale.
One of them.
One
You're
of
blushing,
them.
mate. It's okay.
You are one of
Hot in
the
here, though.
big parts of Springvale, Simone, whether you like it or not, my darling.
Thank you, Robsy. I do love you,
My boy.
Susie. Talk to me a little bit, and there's a couple of photos I've got. Thank you, Di, for the great
Thanks.
photos.
Yeah. Oh,
but
that's one of my favourite photos.
how's it changed now? Because baseball has always been an important part of your life. Maybe not quite as important to you as it has to me. A little bit obsessed, maybe. But now you've got this other amazing human that you have to care for and that you love dearly. Like, what's it like sharing those moments now with Bond?
It's really cool, especially now because he's actually starting to choose to want to come to baseball. Like, I go, buddy,
Yeah.
I'm going to baseball training. He goes, can I come? I'm like, probably not yet, buddy. Like, wait a couple of years. Wait till you can throw a ball a little bit further. Like,
Put tiny tots on Friday and he'll come.
But he's really like, but can I come? Like, I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to do this.
That's cool.
You said baseball wasn't as important to me as you, and I'm going to fight you on that. It was very different, I think. Without baseball and the friends that I created through baseball, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah, she would be a completely different person on a completely different path.
Yeah.
So baseball is a very important part of G.
As I said, like, I won't ever have the accolades you guys have, and that's fine with me. Like, I'm cool with that. But the things I have is, like, you guys showed me how to be committed. You guys showed me how to love something when it is the most toxic relationship you will ever be in, and that is baseball. It shows you, like, watched me mature as a person from the 14-year-old to now. Like, my energy levels haven't changed. My absolute insanity hasn't changed. But you've seen the little things that have changed. You guys are someone that I feel safe with. Like, it's soon as I step on that baseball field, it's safe. And so for me, as much as I didn't have that obsession of I must be better, I must do this, like, I still wanted those things. But for me, it was that sense of safety and that place where I could walk onto a field.
Just to clarify, everyone, I don't think the obsession was the trying to be the best or play high level. It's just obsession with the hours in the week I spend at baseball compared to anyone in the world.
Oh, 100%.
But I think you're spot on, and I think the older and wiser you get, G, and you're nowhere near my age yet, the more you realise the accolades are. And I'm like Sue. So when I played my highest level baseball, I used to be embarrassed winning awards. I used to be embarrassed getting trophies because I didn't think I was that good. And in fact, if I didn't have the Shays and the Kelly Manzies and those people around me, I never would have actually been as good as I was. So I found that hard. But the accolades, I don't sit at home in my giant barn looking at all my trophies. I sit at home and I think about the memories and I think about the laughs and I think about my friends that, you know, we might go 2 or 3 months and not speak, but then I text you and we go and catch up and it's like we
haven't
saw
stopped
each other
talking.
the week before. They're the things that I value and I think we're very similar like that. And I think you're right. Baseball's certainly set me on my path
It's definitely
as
in
a
the
person,
blood.
and obviously in sport. But
I'm really excited to share it with him too, to let him know.
That's really cool.
And I feel like you'd probably feel roughly the same, like having your little man, like excited to share such a big part of me and who I am and the things that I've learnt through baseball and the people I've met. I'm so excited for him to go his own path and see how that leads through that same kind of avenue.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Photos this
way. I did bring up a couple of photos. There's not heaps, but I brought up a few. And Robsy, I did want to talk to you about, this is that grand final that we won. Mm-hmm. And I've already mentioned this, and I pulled up this one because I just...
Yes.
What impact... You know, you came in and the first thing you said tonight was I was, you know, nervous coming in to the club and you know, you knew me and that made you feel a little bit at ease somewhat and you knew some of the girls. But what impact has the club had on you as a person?
Oh, a phenomenal one, actually. Very positive. very positive. It helped me through a time in my life that was pretty difficult, a time in my life where I was trying to find out who I was. I'd been a daughter, I'd been a wife, I'd been a mum, and then suddenly I was married, and then I wasn't married, and so I was having all these emotions, and sport was a huge, and still is, a huge part of my life. I guess sport filled most of our lives as a kid growing up. If we weren't swimming or playing softball or playing netball or playing tennis, you know, we'd be out riding the bike or be over the road playing cricket with the boys. So, you know, sport was important to me, and everything sort of fell, the whole bottom fell out of my world when my ex walked out. Yeah. Even sport fell out of, you know, like I was coaching for Metro in the city, which is
netball.
a netball team.
Yeah.
And I was coaching for Metro, and the guy that was head of Metro thought it was a good idea to decide that I shouldn't coach anymore. So he relieved me of my positions. Both my teams were in third position on the ladder. And he said he no longer needed me to coach. I went, okay. So that was really hard, because that was an outlet for me.
Yeah.
I went to work, and that was a saviour. But I was looking for something, because I no longer played netball. And then Sue and G and AJ and Amy picked me up, basically. Yeah. My kids were suffering because their father had walked out. So they picked me up, and Sue got me into playing. She said, come along, knowing full well that once I got on a field with a glove in my hand, she knows she'd have me.
That'd be it.
And it was it. And we were lucky, though, because we played softball. We could throw and catch. The batting was a little different. Not a lot. The little ball.
It was a surprise for Sam Hamilton when we actually caught the ball for the first time, I think.
She was amazed, because I started out in outfield.
Yeah, right.
I started out as left field.
I was third base, I think.
You were third base, yeah. So we had a lot to learn. But softball, baseball, and that season in particular helped me a whole lot, because my mental health was suffering. And I needed something, and the team gave me back a lot of self-confidence that I didn't have. I had trust issues, still do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've come a hell of a long way, and it's thanks to Springy, for sure, and thanks to my two offsiders over there, of course.
Yeah.
They picked me up. That's
really cool, Robsy.
So it's a really good story, and Springers is a huge part, and I'm really grateful for what Springers actually did for me, and gave to me, because I have a whole family there, and it was somewhere I felt safe, a bit like
always
Julie.
Will.
I felt really safe there, you know, and then I followed Springvale, and I will come back. I will continue to follow Springvale next summer. Last summer was difficult, still getting over knee issues, but
I had to text her. When I would be watching the ones play, I was told, you have to text me at the end of each innings and tell me how they're going. So I'm texting away, and I had about 3 people I would be texting to tell how the ones were going.
Love it.
Maybe we need to start a live stream again of the games.
Yes.
But I'm ready to come back soon. I'll be
not play
again. Not play.
No, I know that.
I reckon
You've made that very clear.
I got 2 fake knees now, so...
we could play. We could still play. But I've got 1 titanium knee. I don't need 2.
No, and you're too busy because you'll be running around after Bond.
No, I don't want to watch the game.
Talk to what was your favourite part of being around the club?
Shit stirring people.
And still
having the best time.
Still being around. I mean, I say being around. You're still around. Yeah. And you're still around for a reason, because you clearly, outside of loving watching your daughter play.
I do love watching. I love watching G play. I love seeing what she can do, but I love the camaraderie. I love being able to tease people.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Who take themselves a little bit too seriously on the diamond. Sometimes that's really fun. I like to see people in the ones smile. I like to see people on a baseball field smile. When we used to first play with, who was it? Mandy. Mandy could get a little bit fired up occasionally.
A little bit white line
Yeah.
fever.
And so we'd crack a one-liner and we'd really piss her off and she couldn't not smile. And it was just one of those things that made my life just worthwhile. Huffy, I can remember watching G play at Doncaster play against Springers, and Huffy was on third base, and we used to sit on the third base line and just shit stir Huffy terribly. She turned around and she'd go, shush! And we'd, and good-naturedly, like we weren't being horrible or anything, but it was just lovely. And it's fun, and that's what I enjoyed about it, just being able to have fun, get out there. And it was a game that old girls could play. Anyone can play it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter your age. And that was really good.
Very true. We talked about your mates and having, you've almost got like good angel and then second good angel in Jacko and Bronny, but you have been able to play with some pretty awesome players and great people, don't get me wrong, like great people, but what's it been like sort of being immersed in Springy land with the Shays?
I love it. I really, I love it. It is fantastic. As I was saying before, like, there was a really tense game at Doncaster, I remember, and it was a close game, and it was in that first season, and I don't do well if I'm thinking seriously. Like, I have to actually switch off between everything, and there was time called, and I started singing Let It Go through Frozen. Someone was talking to you on the mound, and I was just like, let it go, and Shay's like, can you be quiet? And I'm like, no, can't hold it back anymore. And then I saw her turn around, and as she looked back at me, she just smirked at me, because she's like, she's a very much serious, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't work like that. I can't work like that. If I'm in that mindset, then I will make all the errors. I'll do everything, and I will just get all up in my business. And that was really early on in the season, and watching as the seasons progressed, everyone going, like, understanding where you come from and understanding, knowing that I work best if I'm able to switch off and I'm able to, in between pitches, look at the beautiful butterflies and talk ridiculousness and have a giggle. Like, I think at this point in time, Shay actually, or someone they told me something silly and I got the giggles.
Yeah.
And it feels really safe. And it's a really important thing for me, and a really important word is I just feel really safe around you guys. I know that when I went through a really tough time, you were just like, it's cool. First thing you did was give me a big hug, and that's all I care about. Like, if I don't play in the ones again, if I go to threes and I have fun with all those girls, I still know I'm safe. I'm with the people that mean so much to me, and that's the best thing about Springdale.
And care about you.
And care about me.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my gosh. That is such an old photo.
Do you remember
Memories.
this so soon?
No.
You don't?
No.
This was
This was grand final
Casserole.
day.
you
Yes.
and me, and we were the grounds
Yes,
crew.
that's right. We worked bloody hard that day.
And we worked very hard.
We had fun though.
Well, that was that day. That was that
That was grand final day.
when I played for Donny?
Might have been.
I think that was that day.
Might have been.
It might have been because I don't think I was coaching because I couldn't play because I'd had one of my knee
Yeah, Kat was
issues.
pitching.
Yeah.
I think that was.
Yeah.
It all comes back.
Kat
to that
was
day.
pitching that game.
Oh.
So I think that was, that
Yeah,
was
Sam
the
ga-
infamous
Yeah,
game.
Sam gave Springy the day. She gave him the game. It was dumb. Anyway, we got over it. Oh, hello.
Oh.
You are very lucky, G. And it's cool because Sue's obviously a big part of the Big Cats and what we do anyway, and has been for a long time. But to have her in your corner, and always in your corner, but what I love about you is you cheer for everyone. So I hear you, Wig, come on, Wig, and I hear you cheering for. I hear you taking the piss as well, but I love that. I love that too. But you love watching G, and I think you really almost more than anyone, you know how important the game is to her and the people within it. What have you loved about seeing her in this environment for the last couple of years?
Well, we'd been telling G where she needed to be a few seasons before she made the move, but it hadn't.
Life gets in the way. And
Yeah,
things
life
happen.
gets in the way, and if you know G, you can lead the horse to water, but the horse ain't going to drink until the horse is ready. Okay, one stubborn girl.
I don't think she likes water either.
Yeah, she does, but only mixed with stuff. Anyway, I love the fact that she said one of the first things she said to me when she was playing the first couple of games for Springers, she said to me, I don't know how long I'm going to be in the ones. It's weird I'm in the ones. I don't know how long I'm going to be in the ones for, Mum. She said, but I'm actually really enjoying my baseball. I haven't enjoyed my baseball in a few seasons, and she said, they seem, Mum, they seem to like me. She's got, they seem to like me. And I'm going, you idiot, of course they do. What are you talking about? But like out of the this is what she said. They seem to like me. And I just thought,
it's a very perplexing thing.
And I thought, what are you coming from if that's the comment? And I said something about, because, I don't know, the second game in, she did something and Shay went, at her, as Shay does. And G went, you're right, I did. To Shay, and Shay went, oh, okay, right, off you
Okay,
go.
moving on.
Moving on, right. She's agreed. That's fine. That's no worries. And I said, how'd you feel about that? And G looked at me and she said, oh, I did do it. She was absolutely right.
I didn't take a cut.
Yeah, she said I did. She's absolutely right. She was right to call me out on it. And I said, how do you feel about that? She said, yeah, I'll do it next time. It didn't worry her. And I thought that was great. But I love it. A fly ball goes up and here's Shay going, leave it, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. She's run a kilometre to get it, and G's gone, okay, it's yours. And that's fine, and that's really, really
I hate
good.
fly balls.
You know,
Me
but
too.
it's great. You've said to Shay, anything around me that's fly is yours. Anything on the ground near me is mine. You know, and I like that. You have said that. Oh, she can take the really,
She can take the ones.
She can take the ones near her, but she will. She's got those quick little pins as she runs around. That's an interesting one.
I'm looking. People who are watching won't be able to see, but Mandy looks really unhappy and like has sunburn or something. I don't know what's going on. It's
So
a
does
weird photo.
Janine.
Janine's got her tongue poking out.
I'm not sure about that.
G, this is your big family,
Yep.
and as we've talked about quite a lot, it's not necessarily the people that you might talk to every day or, you know, go and hang out with on a consistent basis, but there's a group of people that just get along.
Yep.
And love playing ball together. And you've become a really important part of that.
They like you.
And I think it is interesting because it feels like we're sitting here and we should be looking at 10 years of photos.
Yeah, no,
But we're
it's
not.
2.
And it doesn't feel like that. This is one of my favourite all-time photos. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
am a
good
bit
one.
biased because I was the coach and I
was a
was
fun
super
day.
proud of my team and I had...
Look at the age range. That's
I
incredible.
just have great memories of this.
Look at Ryan.
And I remember, Sue, people coming to me because I was coaching the Emeralds at this point.
And you
So
coached us as well.
one year I'm at the World Cup,
and the next
the year before, and then the next year I'm coaching the threes. And people are saying, "What are you doing? Like this is." Shay said to me one day, "What are you doing coaching the threes? Like you coach the Emeralds?" And I said, "I love coaching those girls because they love the game, and they're sponges. They just want to learn and they want to help each other and they support each other." And it's almost the opposite of where I was at the other end. And it was so refreshing to come back and just the rawness of just the love of baseball.
But when someone, like in that team, when someone did something good, everyone used to just get up and celebrate, you know?
celebrate,
It was just so much fun.
It was great. And it was, there
It was always encouraging.
yeah, and it was just like, oh, that was wonderful, you know. That was a great catch and that kind of thing. And it was all through it. Everyone did it. And everyone was on the bench was really supportive.
Yeah.
And if they weren't, we just used to yell louder than them, so it didn't really matter.
Well, and it's all, I found it was all relative. Like you can coach the Emeralds and their sort of skill levels here, and you're trying to get this much out of them. Whereas in the threes, you know, their skill level might be here, but there's this big level that they can get to. And I really love seeing you guys achieve and seeing such a mix of players do well together and love the game together.
Yeah, it was a good game.
That's why I did it.
Oh,
and
it was
the friendships, G, so we've been really lucky. And personally, I feel really lucky because we have created such a great friendship. And you were far younger than me. I coached you when you were, I think you were just 18.
In the Jan. I turned 18 in the October.
Yep.
We were in the Jan.
And I've been really lucky because I've seen you grow and see you develop and see you go through some of your own challenges and find your way out the other end, and you've just become such a brilliant person. And I do feel really proud that you ended up at Springy.
Mum tells me all the time, you're always going to be there. You just have to find your own way.
Well, and you're always there in spirit anyway, but I think the journey's been so much fun. It's still, this journey's got a lot to play out, by the way. We're still spring chickens, but even if Gossie's in the back there.
Yes.
Gossie did play one game, so Gossie's a Springvale person. Obviously, Shaker trying to get her. She's 2 foot tall and Shanna's a 6 foot, so it's very hard. And Shanna's had just come over then, so she hadn't been at the club for long. Jacko, obviously, and then me and you at the back. But it's just such great times, mate. You know, when you look back at the photos, it's how much fun.
It's really awesome. It's really awesome.
And then this is more recent, and this is just so typical of you because on the left, for those at home, Shay and I were getting, and Shay had 17 beers by this time. I was driving. I think she did, unfortunately. But you were in the background doing your whole, I'm here. And then on the right, I took this photo. Shay had 19 beers by this time, and you'd come in to sing at the end of presentation night. Shay took over the microphone and started singing Proud Mary.
Yep, she didn't know the lyrics.
And didn't know the words. So
I've Googled them.
you had to pull your phone up and it was just hilarious. And then this is you and Shay. And one of the funniest 10-minute periods of the entire year for me was sitting there after all was done and dusted of the season and just watching you just not know what to do. And you always just get on with it, and you were just so confused, like, what is she doing? And it was so funny.
It was great though. It was such a fun time. She you can't actually tell, but she's pulling on my shirt at that point in time, so pulling and pushing me at the same time so she can get to the microphone. And I'm just like, sure,
and
go
not
ahead.
know the words.
And I was like, I'm reading the words. I don't know if you're capable of reading moving words at this point in time, but I'm reading the words. And she goes, I'll sing the choruses. And I was like, okay. So I'm singing the verses, and then Shay goes and sings the choruses, and it's just everyone's laughing. Everyone is losing it. She's like, can you put Proud Mary on? Usually what I get from Shay is, sing Valerie. Sing Valerie. And I'm like, I don't know Valerie. She's like, get a backing track. So then I had to sing Valerie as well because I was just getting abused. Sing Valerie. So it was just, it was hilarious. It was such a good time. And I just came from a wedding that I had to drive a couple hours to, and I was tired, and I just was like, I want to go home. I walked into that room and I was like, no. And then Shay saw me and she's like, are you playing? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, good.
In other words, get your mic so I can sing.
Yeah.
So funny. I've got a quiz.
Oh, no.
And I know you're going to hate this because I'm going to say, who's your favourite or who's the best? And you go, everyone. And that's fine. You can say that.
Oh, I hope that the camera zoned in on the way you said everyone just then. There was a little bit of acid in that tone. Squeeze me. It was like
Luckily, there's no zooming in this
amazing.
podcast.
It's like getting a lion thrown at you after a grand final.
You're reliving that memory.
Yeah, I am.
You
It's
told
just
me you enjoyed it.
I did.
There you go.
I love
What's
getting
happening
lines
again?
thrown at me.
You're lying
So-
to us, Mum.
Favourite on-field memory? G.
That's a hard one.
Favourite on-field memory, first game I played for Springvale.
Great memory.
First game I played for Springvale. Because it was such a different feel. We played Essendon,
We
and
did
I
too.
played second base because Shay was away.
Yes.
And I face planted and ate crap hard. And Kat was at first base, and I made an error. Like, I face planted, got the ball through it. She missed it. Well, she couldn't have missed it. Like, it was
miles
terrible.
away,
And then she looked at me and gone, "You right?" And I said, "Yeah." And then she laughed at me. And that was my first game, my first ever play at Springvale in a Springvale uniform was me eating.
And the
like-
game was close,
And the
wasn't it?
game, we drew the game because of the ball I threw away.
That's right.
Right? And
No,
nobody
it wasn't
got
because of the ball you threw away.
but-
because
okay.
it takes a game.
the running
I know
ball.
what you're saying.
game.
You know,
I
yeah.
know what you're saying.
There was a runner on third base. I threw the ball away because it was 2 outs.
Oh my God.
And
The
that
world
kind of
will
set the
fall.
precedent because nobody was like, "How shit are you?" They're just like, Kat laughed at me.
I remember
Like-
Kat.
Like, she was a
Playing,
little bit
yeah.
angry, but she laughed at me because what happened was so funny and it was
funny.
very
I remember that. It was
G-ish.
very funny.
It was very G-ish.
Took her 4 or 5 games to figure out that it was okay. She was okay. Kat used to look at her sideways and go,
Look, Kat did say to me, she's like, "I'm so glad you've changed a little bit. You annoyed the shit out of me as a kid." I was like, I annoyed a lot of people. And I still do.
Sue?
no, go to Robin.
No, go to Sue.
No, go to Robin.
I think definitely the grand final.
Yeah.
Definitely that game. And apart from that, the one time I actually hit the ball and I could run 2 bases.
Ooh.
That was real fun.
very
good
good.
memory.
I did it a couple of times,
That's a good memory.
and I think I did 1 3-bagger as well. Needed an oxygen
a
tent at that
triple.
stage.
Very
That's a
good.
triple, yeah.
Just in case.
3-bagger in softball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
old.
was just converting it to baseball lingo.
Thank you.
Love it. Sue?
Pretty sure that out there in podcast land, they'd have figured that out.
Oh, I know. I'm just being facetious.
They're
when
very
I
smart, our
when I
viewers.
jumped very, very, very high, about this high, off the ground, and caught a ball that was sailing out to right
That was
field for
very
a home
special.
run.
That was very special.
I was very excited about that, and then I fell down.
But you caught it.
I caught it.
That's
it
great.
stayed in my glove, and then I fell down.
Yeah, I love that.
I was very excited.
You're talking to
about
2 people who fall down a lot, so.
Yeah.
People wonder where I get it from.
that. No, I don't fall down as much as you. No one could.
Off-field memory. Any that come to mind that...
I went first last time.
My off-field memories probably there's really heaps and heaps and heaps to, how can you hone in on one? It's the eclectic memory that I've got when I walk into Springvale is one of walking into a place where people smile at you and say g'day. And that's a memory that's made up of lots of memories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that answer. It's a great answer.
Oh, good.
Robsy?
Ha! I got a good answer. 1 out of 100.
No pressure, G.
Off-field memory, probably coming to Springvale to start with, and just feeling the atmosphere that was there, the actual acceptance of everybody, the vibe that everybody could learn. That
Everyone
vibe,
mattered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my
cool.
favourite
That's a great memory.
off-field memory.
Again, so many. All the hugs I get. Anytime that you see me walk in, like you're usually doing your running or something, and you've got your headphones in, and you're like, "Gee, come over, give me a hug, and keep going." Like, that's always a good one. Like, but one that's really stuck with me, and I'm not sure if it's a positive. It's not a negative memory, but going through a really tough time last year after the grand final, I had a bit of a moment, and Kata just came up. Never, like, she just said, "You're right," and like walked off. That was it, and that's a really important time for me. Like, just knowing I had that support. So that's probably my favourite off-field memory,
Yeah.
which is really weird because it wasn't something I would
No,
expect.
it's really
be.
cool.
Yeah.
One of the cute things, it's not really off field, one of the cute things with the ones is at the end of the game when the girls are in the huddle and all the kids
Yeah.
come out, and the dogs,
Yeah.
the kids and the dogs.
Shirl's bloody dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cute
It
because
is.
they all come out
And it's Springvale.
and that's family.
It's
I think that's
Springvale
Yeah,
good.
only.
that's a really cool thing to mention, Sue. I do think that's awesome too.
Oh,
Favourite teammate, or is there someone that you have great memories of playing ball with in particular?
Auntie Rob? No, I'm saying you go first.
So you have a favourite teammate?
No, I'm saying Auntie Rob goes first.
I think all of the Springvale people, honestly. I couldn't separate them. What was really cool is playing with Sue, though, because it gave us the time together. It reminded me of when we were little and being able to play under Dad coaching us, who had really no idea. No idea at all. I hate that thing. No idea at all. But I think it brought back memories of childhood, just being able to play together again.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Which was good.
I like playing with all the kids. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, playing with all the people we played with, you like some more than the others, but some. But playing with the kids was fun because they. Don't think they knew how to take us either. So it took them a few games to actually figure it out.
Yeah.
And we used to bring the lollies, so we were always popular.
But they taught us
I remember that.
as much as we taught them, I reckon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And they made us push to try and at least be good enough to help them grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have like 12 names going around, but I'm going to be really specific and say Bronny, but last season. Just because of how much fun we had. And it's not on a baseball level, but it was on like a personal fun level, like very specifically last season. Not so much in the seasons beforehand. Like we still had fun and things, but yeah, it would probably be her because we brought our off-field friendship, which we have really like a fantastic friendship, and we saw more of that like through the season, her and I. So that's
cool.
But obviously, like I love playing with you guys. Like I love the amount of times that I'll do something and you just be like, "You're a dag." I'm like, "Hey," like all that kind of stuff. That I love playing with all you guys.
That's a hard one because
depends what day
It
you're talking
is.
to me.
yeah.
It is a hard one. Like it's
Like who's your favourite teammate?
Well, I've been asked this already, and I've got lots of them, and I've played with more than anyone, literally, because I've been there since the beginning. But one of my greatest mates still is Huffy, and I played with her back when we used to lose 45-0 and we weren't very good, and 1-2, 2-1, and we didn't have any other pitches, so Huffy and I just did it. And then she was still playing only 3 years ago, and we were still... Then we're winning, and the club was in a completely different place. But Sue, I could list 30, 40.
Hard,
and I've
isn't
played
it?
in all three divisions as well. So
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that I've played with Mandy, and I've played with Deb and Shay and G. And like,
So you could throw all those in.
you can, and there's different seasons where you're sort of connected with different people. And but I'm like you, it's too hard to list one. Best player you've played with, and this might be for you guys. This might be someone in the threes, or it might be one of the girls that really helped you, or that you feel like you learnt so much from. It can be anything. But G, maybe you kick us off.
Best player.
This is fraught with danger.
It's fraught with danger.
It is.
Not that many
I've got
people
it.
listen to these,
Look,
so don't worry
I'm gonna
about it.
have to say I'm gonna have to go two, and it's gonna be that middle infield, Shay and Bron.
Yep.
You can't.
Consistent.
They're
answers
just
from-
consistent,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I can't. I got like.
You probably
Yeah.
don't need to even say.
I can't. That's all I got. Shay and Bron. Like when you play on a team with them, and it's like I've played on a team with you, all that season you pitched, but then that was for me. That's a long. I also have a terrible memory, so that's a long time ago. So just watching them this season and watching the thoughtless telepathic communication that goes on between those two is just insane.
Freaky.
I actually told
It is
them
a bit freaky.
at one point in time there was time called, and I was like, I'm jealous. Can I come over there? And Shay goes, nah. And Bro goes, no. And I was like, oh. So I just
I'll
started.
just stay in my
I'll
corner.
just stay in my little corner over here. Then they like said, yeah, come over. Like,
That's
but yeah,
funny.
it's got to be
First base
those
is
two.
always left out. You
They
know,
are.
you know the
No
strike.
love.
It's annoying when they pitch a strike someone out and
Oh,
they
they
do
just
the whole
rolled around
throw
and I'm just
around
like,
and
okay,
you just sit
I'll
there
just
and you go,
stand here.
yeah, what's
Good
wrong
job.
with me?
Save your arm though, Sue.
Yeah, oh,
One less throw.
yeah, yeah. First base doesn't do much throwing.
What?
We didn't do that in the thirds anyway.
Well, we
No,
rarely pitch someone
we didn't
out.
really strike anyone out,
No,
did we?
that's right.
Unless
walked
one of
a
the
lot.
unless one of the youngies was pitching, then we're all right. But you know, we rarely pitch.
I wouldn't have known which way to throw it. We never did it.
Sue,
Just had to go to
answer?
Oh, yeah, can't. No, no.
Or maybe it's one of the...
It's an MVP thing for me. I'm not going there.
Rob?
I'm a bit like Sue. I don't like that question either.
Next.
Sorry, darling.
Rude.
That's okay. Funniest person at the club, and it can't be G.
Has to be Sue then, doesn't it? You make me laugh all the time.
Oh yes. Well, no, yeah. Oh,
Well,
we
she
don't-
is pretty
yeah.
funny.
oh just, only sometimes. Sometimes I'm a bit scary.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it can't be you.
I'm not that funny. I'm just funny looking.
Okay.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
I think JoJo was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, when she was sticking things up her nose and looking at you, that was weird. Running
I
around
do
the
remember that.
I
Lots
run
of
around the
different
diamond.
personalities.
She's running around the diamond. She's wetting herself. And she's running around the diamond. She's going, but I'm getting there.
That was.
She's
I didn't mean that sort of funny.
That was funny though.
That was funny.
She was pretty funny.
Oh, it's just I don't know me. No, joking. I can't say
That
that.
are you?
Yeah, probably. No. Oh, I can't. You've got like Shay, but that's more of like presentation night when she's Tina Turner. So Shay's alter ego, Tina Turner, is what I will
Yes.
have to stick with.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not Shay, Tina Turner.
So,
Her alter ego.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So
I
Tina.
got it.
Tina.
Yeah, Tina.
Yeah, Tina.
So I think we just start calling her Tina.
I think we
Yeah.
just start calling her Tina.
That'd be funny. I wonder if she
I think she'd actually like it.
Mm.
Favourite coach? Careful what you say, Sue. Carefully answer this one.
You. Full stop. Don't have to think about it.
I don't either. Same.
He's at 20.
Mm. That's
No,
okay.
you don't have to pay us either. We're
No.
this genuine.
Not under the table, over.
No, not even over. Genuine.
You put up with a lot of shit from us that year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were out of you for 2 years, and that was really
Yeah.
it was really good. You made us work, but you listened to us. You didn't shut us down, and we'd ask questions. You also put up with us when
Being
we just
idiots,
were
yeah.
being idiots, and yeah, we.
It was
And
a lot
'cause
of fun.
You can get a little bit of white line fever too.
Little
so
bit.
when we don't get white line fever, you had to deal with
With
that,
that, yeah. And which would have been difficult, I reckon.
A little bit.
Yeah.
which was
Couldn't
good for
We
us.
brought our own problems for you.
But we were also teaching her.
Absolutely.
gosh. When the
Who's
student
your favourite
becomes
coach?
the teacher.
Huh?
My favourite coach.
Although G did coach us one year too.
Yeah, I was like, thanks,
But-
guys.
but
love you
not
too.
even- it wasn't for
joking.
Springvale.
It
It
wasn't.
wasn't at Springvale.
Spirit.
Doesn't
No.
count.
All the coaches I've had at Springvale, like I've had, you all bring such different things.
You've
like,
had
and
about
I've had
30 coaches, haven't you? Because everyone's...
from everyone.
helping you.
Like you got, I don't have a coach. I got you, Chevy, Kat, like Shay, like
Bron.
Bron, everyone. Like,
Even Princess.
even Princess. Princess is like my emotional coach. She keeps
She's
me
also
grounded.
Guide on the side.
yeah. She's
Yeah,
also she'll say
so
when you're spiraling, she'll go, no,
Yeah.
that's not right.
I'm going with all members of the Springvale family at this point in time because they've all coached me in some way.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
mother,
she'll-
like daughter.
Hey, I chose.
No, that was good. I'm glad you
I know.
chose.
She's
I
she's
couldn't.
picking
I'm
wood out of her
sorry.
butt because she's been sitting on the fence, but I chose that one.
I've got one or two splinters, okay? Jeez.
Wanna...
See, they have to.
So
be
this question...
He didn't know how to take us, by the way.
funny.
No idea.
No.
We
That's
really,
not-
really stressed that
that's-
man out. Something
Well,
shocking.
hey, it was probably a bit of circus music when he watched the games I was coaching.
Yeah,
But were there any
didn't cope
moments,
well.
and so you've already talked about Jo wetting herself, running around the things in her mouth. Were there any moments where you just thought, oh my God, this is the game is maybe getting out of hand, or there's some moment that happened on the field where someone did something funny, and it might have been the other team.
Crickets.
The rundown plays.
God.
Rundown
Lord,
plays
don't
in
go
the
there.
three.
Oh, they
Oh,
were
my
terrible.
God.
This is a great answer, because I thought this would be the number one answer to this question, because every time we ever do a rundown play, it's always wrong.
Yep.
And Mick is always singing this music.
Yep. No,
as he
the
watches.
rundown plays in the three, it was,
And that
it's
final
amazing.
in Altona, they were terrible.
Oh, no.
yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, but no, I remember I was, because I'm so quick, there was someone on third and I was going from first to second and I was
remember
caught in
this.
the
I
rundown
watched it.
play and the person, and they're going back and forward and I'm turning around and going back like a little pinball and the person on third's looking
And it was
for me.
one of the kids.
And
It
I
was one of the
turned
kids.
around and I said, oh, for fuck's sake, run! As I'm going back and forward, I went out and they got home. But, oh, my God, they're standing looking at me. I'm thinking, come on, the motor's just about out here. They're getting closer and closer and closer. I go, I'm going to die. But, yeah, I can remember that.
That's
sorry.
funny.
Sorry, I remember that. Sorry. What do you
Jay?
remember, Rob?
I
Sorry.
remember that too.
Yeah.
No, but I remember the plays that we didn't make that weren't so pretty.
There was a few of them.
There was a
quite,
few.
There were quite a few of those that we didn't
There's a
make.
few. Yeah.
So I do remember them.
You
can't-
also made good plays, by the way.
I can't remember too much on field for Springvale, but it was in the game and it was in our dugout and 3 people fell down the things consecutively. Down the stairs.
Down the stairs.
Yep, just consecutively. Like, just, you know, the little slip you do?
Oh, my
and,
God.
And it was just boom, boom, boom. And I was the last one to do it, of course, and ended up on my butt. But everyone else, they kind of, like, saved themselves, and I just went... and that's probably the closest I've got to a bit of... And then someone looked at me, and they're just, like... It didn't even... It was just like, oh, yeah, that's a G thing. And then kept going. Like, it wasn't even anything. Anyone else stack it, land on their bum, they would have been like, you all right? But they're like, G. Like,
It's G. This happens all
this
the
happens
time.
all the time. But that's probably the best kind of circus
Yeah.
music I've got for Springvale because, as you said, I walked into a team that's pretty strong. So I've been pretty lucky in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah, that's true.
I reckon too, with Mick's name up there, I remember him throwing countless number of tosses to us to hit every training.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
And
The
if
more
we
I
missed it,
think
he'd
about-
go, what's wrong with that one? I didn't like it.
But he was amazing. He just kept going to all these players.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many cuts we would have taken. It would have been quite a few.
Well, 5 of our cuts to every one of theirs, you know.
Well, yeah, wow. Yeah.
I've loved chatting, and I was really excited when you agreed to come on and chat with me. We've got a function on Friday the 31st of Jan, and I'm really hoping that all 3 of you will be there. It's at the Waltzing Matilda. I think we probably will get Tina Turner up at some point to do a bit of a song.
Not me, Tina.
But I'd love you guys to be there because you're such an important part of our family and what we have done and still what we're doing.
I'll be there. I've RSVP'd.
Before we go, though, is there anything else that you guys wanted to say before we finished or wanted to add?
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay,
I
you
just,
go first.
like, as I said, it's a safe place. I wanted to say thank you for being for starting such an amazing club and being so opening. Like, one of my favourite things to do, I hate winter and love winter at the same time because it gives me time to, like, recoup a little bit. But I miss you guys so, like, and the first training session, the first thing you were doing something, dropped your board, came, gave me a hug. Like, so literally opening arms. So I just wanted to, and that's to all the Springvale people too. So thank you for creating such a culture of a club that we all have such pride in the colours we wear, that everybody is respected. And it is such an open arms culture. So that's what I wanted to say.
That's awesome, G.
I think it's a lovely thing to say.
I know it can be nice sometimes. It's rare.
You are. Yeah, you've taken your medication today. So
I did.
That's why. Yeah, that's all good. I'm at similar lines to G. You've built a women's program that is as important to the club as the men's program, which in a lot of sporting clubs is very difficult to achieve when there's a women's and a men's program. And there is, like, they're viewed in the same light. The love that is shown by the people who run the club is shown across the genders, not specifically to one, and people support one another. And I think that is something that Springvale has really done well and will continue to do well, because that's the way the people who are running Springvale, that's their ethos. That's the premise they've built that club on. And I like that.
Very cool, Susie.
I agree with both G and Susie. The Springvale is amazing. It's a beautiful club with fantastic people, and it's given fantastic opportunities to all ages, all abilities.
Yep.
It's a welcoming place. It's a place where people feel safe. It's a place where people choose to recover from lots of different things and choose to try and better themselves. So I feel very humbled to be able to be part of the Springy family and to have been a part of it. And I also feel the pride that Springvale is. And also I want to say thank you too. I think that Springvale's amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. My favourite.
Lovely words,
I feel like that could be
Robsy,
in
and
town.
from all three of you. And you're all a massive part of who we are. And you've exuded that tonight with your comments, and it's been really a delight for me to chat with you guys. I love chatting with you. I know we don't catch up as often as we'd like to because life's busy and there's lots of things going on, but I'm already excited for summer, and it'd be great to have you back, Robsy.
I'm coming back, yeah.
I should get you guys
Coming
pom-poms.
back.
Lions feel the pride. I just made a tagline. All right. Jeez.
So proud.
Look out, mate.
Big thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
31st, be
us.
there.
I will.
and
I'll drag them along
See you again
by
soon.
their earlobes.
Yeah. Thanks for
Very
talking
soon.
to us.
Thanks for having us, Simone.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Well done, girls.
Oh.